See you sucker soon on a hot summer day. Coffee comes back in a nerve-wracking way. The dishes and laundry take the garbage out. What a day, what a day, what a day.
Well, welcome to Scheenctady Capital Region today. We're so happy you're joining us today. We got a great lineup, great things going on in our community. We want you to get a pad and paper and write down those dates of events coming up because you've got a lot going on, and please don't say stay home and just not do anything. But today we're going to be talking about, first of all, we're going over to the Classic Theater Guild. They're performing in Scheenctady, and we're going to be talking about Crimes of the Heart. Then we're going over to Averill Park to talk to the Classic Theater players, and they are going to be doing All My Sons, Arthur Miller's play, wonderful play. It's a classic, there surely is. And then Tanya Deptola is on here again from the Russian Winter Festival, and we're going to be talking about a film that's coming up that's a free film to see, and also about their Winter Festival. She's going to elaborate on a lot more things going on there. And then we're very pleased to have a photographer and a historian. Clifford Mealy is going to be on, and we're going to be talking about the John Henry and the Baltimores of Troy, and this is a bit of the Black History Month. And then Richard Zizecki, of course, comes on every year to talk about the Cash Coalition and the VITA program. Free taxes. Hey, get those 1099s in so you can do your taxes. Then we'll be wrapping up the show talking about the Beat the Snow concert series, and also we'll be talking about some treasures we found in the basement of Proctor's. So I just want to mention that. In our breaks today, we're going to again show you some of the clips from a previous show that we did on the Russian festival and the music that surrounds the wonderful festival that comes up. But right now we're going to be talking about, and right now you're listening to WOOC FM and other stations out of the Center for Independent Media over in Rensselaer. So we're going to be talking to the group from the Classic Theater Guild, and we're going to be talking about Crimes of the Heart. This was a movie, wasn't it? John,
Yes,
John Birchler is with me. He is the director. And along with us, we have two of the actors. We have Christine and Audrey Vermillier. Yes. And we're going to be talking to them as well. So, John, tell me, what made you choose this play?
Well, I've directed it before. I think it was 1999 in Johnstown at the Colonial Little Theater. And as a matter of fact, Christine was in the cast
Oh, really?
of that show.
Oh, my.
34?
She was playing the little girl. No, that's okay.
It's an hysterical play.
Yeah, it's a funny play.
There are moments of almost absolute slapstick, but it's also a very warm play about the three McGrath sisters and their various tribulations regarding romance primarily. But it's more than that.
Okay, so it's a family show?
Yeah.
You had made a little frown there.
Well, there are a couple of moments that you might might not want to have little kids there. But,
okay.
But yeah, it's warm and
hopefully
funny.
It'll go over their head anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe. And this is you actually are performing this at the Beth Israel. Is that correct?
Congregation Beth Israel, 2195 Eastern Parkway in Schenectady.
Yeah, and it runs from, let's talk the dates, February 20th through the March 1st.
Right.
So we talked about the play, but let's talk about the two characters that are in the play. We have Christine and Audrey with us. So how did you prepare for the parts, and were they parts that were easy or hard?
Well, I found it very easy going through the script, looking at the text and what's provided, and then building the character off of that, because I love text analysis like that.
Good. And what is your background? You're in high school, right?
Yes, I'm 17. I'm a senior at Notre Dame Bishop Gibbons High School.
Okay. And what are your plans? You want to go into theater, or?
I'm looking at theater. That's one of my options. I'm also looking at majoring English. It's kind of a toss-up between, trying to go for musical theater or English.
Yeah. Well, okay, it's pretty close. And your mom is sitting next to you, and so it's good to see you too. So tell us how you got your daughter involved in this.
I basically dragged her into it. This is how I do everything. If somebody says, "Hey, Christine, we need somebody," I have a daughter.
Yeah, her name is Audrey, and we're
Yes.
bringing her right in to do this.
She's run Lights and Sound at Troy Civic Theater. I threw her in. She's done a few things with Proctor's. She's now been at Classic Theater Guild. She's also been at Albany Civic. So
Really? So you've done a lot. So your mom.
more
You
than
got
I
your
have.
mom to thank to get you into show business.
Yeah.
We got Gypsy here. No, is it Gypsy? Mother Rose? or
Mama Rose.
I need to add something.
Yes, go ahead, John.
We
John
didn't have
Berkshire, he's
we
the
didn't have very
director.
many people audition for the show, so I called up Christine and said, "Would you like to be in Crimes of the Heart?" And she said, "Oh, sure." And I said, "Do you think Audrey would?" She said, "Oh, sure." So that's how we got
And then
both
said,
of
"Should
them.
you ask her?" I
So
said,
she
"Oh."
woke up Audrey and said, "Audrey, guess what? You're going to be in the." So Classic Theater Guild, of course, picks many plays that are classic, and I call them the classic plays, because you want to make sure that we bring this to the audience here in our community. What made you choose the Congregation Beth Israel for your location?
Well, they chose me.
Oh, they chose you. Okay.
Yeah, you know, I've directed a couple of shows with them before.
They did.
Was
You
in a
did Anne
show.
Frank there, did you?
Or
someone did.
Steve Soriano directed
Yeah.
that a few months ago. Yeah, I directed. Oh my gosh, what was the name of the play? Beau Geste, about a year and a half ago,
that's a great
and I
play.
also directed Of Mice and Men.
Yeah. So I know sometimes you perform here at Proctor's, but Beth Israel seems to be a good location as well to do that.
They choose Proctor's when they expect a reasonably sized crowd, like for the
Okay.
Christmas shows that have gazillions
Huge
of
ones,
children
yeah.
in it.
yeah, and it's understandable. Not only that, but you're also competing with other events going on at Proctor's, which
Yeah.
they have like 300 or 400 events a year, or if not more than that,
Oh,
because some
way more.
days we have 8 going on at the same time here. So, so Audrey, you're going to go on with your acting, you think?
Yes, I plan on it.
Yeah, you like doing that. Tell me about your character.
So, Babe is a 24-year-old woman who has just been released from jail with bail, and she's coming home to her family basically, and this is sort of, there's a bit of the fallout of what's happened, and it's kind of explaining to her family what's happened, and all sorts of things happen throughout the play. I keep saying happen.
Okay, that's all right. And you are you?
I'm her older sister in
You're
the
her
play.
older
Yes.
sister. Oh,
And her episode in jail has also brought up a lot of old family scandals, which have really shaken the family. And then our middle sister comes back to town, and she was also involved in some family scandals, and we all kind of deal with
so
that.
there
in
are
our own way.
crimes of the heart.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely high. And how large is your cast?
6.
6 in it. Okay. And I know that we had 2 others that were going to join us today, and they couldn't make it. But we do want to give them a shout out as well. We have Marcus Heath and Joey Cook as well. And their characters, tell us a little bit about their characters.
Well, Marquise plays Barnett Lloyd, who's a lawyer who has been hired to help Babe with her legal issues. And Joe is playing Doc Porter, who was the third sister's boyfriend, I guess, back in the day. He was injured in a Hurricane Camille in 1969, and it was in part Meg's fault for that accident taking place. There's all kinds of little subplots.
Little subplots going on here. Well, we want to encourage you. You're actually listening to Ian Perillo. I'm the host and producer of Schenectady Capital Region Today. And you're also listening on the radio to the Hudson Mohawk Magazine. And we're talking about Crimes of the Heart by the Classic Theater Guild. You can see that in Schenectady at the Congregation Beth Israel. And it runs from February 20th to March 1st. And we hope that you take an opportunity to see some of our wonderful local actors. And if you're listening right now, our next segment that we're going to be doing on TV here is All My Sons by Circle Theater Players. So lots of acting today.
Another funny show.
Another funny show. Well, yeah, really. I'm not so sure. But anyway, thank you for listening and watching. And we're going to take a quick break and look at that Russian festival. And when we come back, we are going to be meeting some of the cast of All My Sons. So stay tuned.
The group Volnitsa from Moscow, and the head of the group, Pavel Baikov. He is playing bass balalaika. You see, it's a huge bass balalaika. And another one is the solo balalaika, prima balalaika, Denis Zhukov. I think the Denis Zhukov is considered the best balalaika player in the world.
In the world.
In the world.
Woo!
Yeah.
Let's hear
And Vladimir, he's playing the Russian button accordion. You see, this is accordion, but it's only buttons.
Oh, there's no keyboard.
No keyboard, only
Oh,
buttons.
okay. Wow.
It's
All right.
special bayan.
Okay, good. Okay, and what are they going to play?
They're going to play the
And if I recall correctly, that's Volnista and they were from Moscow and came in and actually came to our set and played. It was really quite an honor to hear them. And right now, you're listening to the Hudson Mohawk magazine, and you're Ann Perillo with the Schenectady Capital Region Today TV. And right now, I'm honored to have 3 guests from the Circle Theater Players over in Averill Park, and you're at the Sand Lake Center for the Arts is where you do perform. With me, I have Barry Streifert. He is the director, and Fred Ciro plays Joe Cowley, the father. That's a heavy part. And Jacob Frisch is the son. Well, that's not too shabby either. So let's just talk about Arthur Miller's play, and let's start with the director. Tell me, Barry, why did you choose the play?
I discovered the play quite a few years ago, actually on an audio production, and it gave me a chance to visualize the way I saw it, the way I heard it, and it just piqued something in me, and I'm like, someday I need
It's a strong
to
play.
work on this. Yes,
Very
it's a
strong
very,
play.
yes.
And they made a movie out of it too.
Yes.
And I remember seeing it, and it's a
there's a lot of intensity.
Yeah,
It's,
intensity.
Post World War II,
yeah.
and it's a family separated by war trying to recover their.
I know, it's a wonderful play.
Yeah.
Fred, you're playing the dad. How
Yeah.
did you prepare for that?
Oh boy.
You had to dig deep for that one, I'll
Yes. It's a kind of a collection of memories of my father, who, rest his soul, he was a World War II vet.
bet. So you had a little bit of knowledge of
I've studied a lot of World War II history, and,
Sure.
and I'm familiar with a lot of the technical terms
Sure.
in the play. And the play intrigued me years ago, and then when I ran into Barry about 2 years ago, he had mentioned that he was doing the play, so I again read it, and I just
Was
fell
Ed
in love.
Begley in that play? No, who played the part?
I'm
trying in the movie.
The first movie, it was Edward G. Robinson, and
Oh,
then
okay.
it was James Whitmore in the second movie that they
Okay.
made. And
I
then
don't
he
know
just-
why I thought Ed Begley. I don't know, his name
No.
just came to mind. Of course, I mean, I didn't prepare for this, so I'm kind of pulling in my mental Rolodex. For you that are watching, we don't use any kind of teleprompters. We just kind of wing it here. So you are the son, Jacob. So tell me how you prepared for that part, because maybe you're not too familiar with being in the military and
I am not. I have never served. I have uncles and great uncles and grandparents who have served, but I personally have never. So for me, that was certainly an aspect of getting into the character, researching more what it was like, especially from a war that time and not just modern times, the effect
that was
that
World
war
War
still
II.
had.
Now, it wasn't Korean, it wasn't the Vietnam. Gosh,
Persian
we've
Gulf
had a lot of
War,
engagements, haven't we?
Yes.
Should I make the list here? You know, we don't call them wars, we call them engagements.
Engagements, yeah.
Without the diamond, right?
Yeah, and I had read the play actually when I was getting my BFA at SUNY Purchase. I did that between 2011 2015, and I had loved the play and thought, when I'm old enough, I'd love to play Chris
play the
Keller.
part. Oh,
you know,
okay.
and now I'm about the age close enough
Yeah,
to play
it works,
So
it works.
when I had saw a post by the owner of the board artistic director Brian Sheldon of Circle Theater Players,
I
and then he
love
connected
Brian.
me with Barry, and we made it work, thankfully.
Yeah, Brian's such a great guy. He's doing so much.
He's
I want
doing
to
some
give a
great
big
things
shout
out
out to
there.
Brian, because he's doing a lot with the Sand Lake Theater for the
Yes,
Arts.
absolutely.
With the
Yeah.
Valentines, and he's done the
Yep,
music,
yep.
and he's done. It seems like every time I get an email, there's something new going on there.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
And he's really making that place work. You could not have chosen a better executive director than Brian
Yeah,
Sheldon.
he's doing good.
Hey, Brian, I love you. I love you. What you're doing. So when is this play being performed? Let's talk
So
about
we
that.
Open on March 6th.
March
and run
6th,
2
okay.
weekends.
And it runs through the 15th?
15th, yeah.
Okay, good. And you have Sunday matinees as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to say that if you've never been to the Sand Lake Center for the Arts, it's a former church, I
Yes,
believe it was.
yep.
But the theater itself is kind of like a black box theater.
Yeah.
And there's not a bad seat in the entire
Right.
theater.
Yeah.
Who's doing your set, and what is the set like?
Michael McDermott is
Mike
he's
McDermott.
doing
Okay,
some
good.
design for us, and we're putting together we're trying to get a crew together right now to put everything together this week.
And I find that more and more with many of the plays and the performances. I mean, sets are hard to put together,
Yeah.
and you know, there's a lot to do with it. That a lot of times they're doing suggestions of
Yes,
sets, and it
yes.
really works. It works
And
very well.
yes, I've seen quite a few of those. And I'm
Yeah, and
okay
I'm
with that,
amazed at
yeah.
how well it does work,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
rather than that.
Because
So-
I've got a wonderful cast. They're doing
How
such
big
a
is your
fine job.
cast?
8 people. There's 8
Okay,
in the
can
cast.
we want to run them off?
If I can. So I've got
Well, we have 2 right here.
Fred and Jacob. Tess McHugh is our Anne. Carlene Hayden is our Kate. Matt Ehlenberg is in it. Pat and Bill Douglas and Liam.
Evan and Todd.
And Evan
You got
and
a
Todd.
good sized
yeah,
cast.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, there's a lot of ensemble characters that come in and help break up the drama, if only
Yeah.
for a moment,
Right.
until
Right.
the
It
characters
gets
can get
intense.
back.
It gets
Yes.
intense.
It's
Yeah.
very
Absolutely, yeah.
And for the actors, it's intense because you have to dig deep and be in that character.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they are. They
yeah.
really are. Already.
So, Fred, how long have you been acting?
Boy. I'll have to go way back to 8th grade.
Really? Okay. See, so you're kind of that means it's been in your blood a while.
It's been in my blood for a while. I stopped acting for a while. There was like a 21-year or 20-some-odd year break, and then I started acting again up here 2 years ago.
Okay, good.
And then I've been kind of busy for the
Yeah.
past 2 years.
That's
doing
good.
things Up here.
And Jacob, it looks like you want to be. This is going to be your career eventually.
Well, I've dedicated enough time,
Other
hopefully,
than
it's-
waitering, you know.
which I have 10 years experience if anybody's hiring. I can also work in kitchens, but sadly the stereotype's true, Anne.
Yeah.
But you know, I actually did my first play with Circle Theater Players. They had a Kids for Kids program over the summer when I was 12, and I did Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh,
and
that's a
then-
wonderful play.
And then the following year, Joan Fuse directed To Kill a Mockingbird, and she cast me as Jem. And then from there,
Oh.
that set off. I did my internship as a senior in high school with the former New York State Theater Institute, and then I went to SUNY Purchase to get a BFA. So.
Is the New York State Theater Institute still? I think they.
It's
kind
now
of
the Theater
abandoned-
Institute at Sage.
They changed, yeah, 'cause it
yes,
moved on, yeah.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah,
That's
well,
a whole- we don't need to get into
no,
that.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Well, because I remembered when because I was kind of like following the New York State Theater Institute, and then I knew that it changed. There was some kind of.
Yeah, now I believe it's
at Sage.
run via David Baker and Michael Musial through the Sage, Russell Sage College.
One of the things that I'm very pleased that we have in our community is we have so many theater groups that you can kind of move, and they're all receptive to other groups that are, you know, so I know when I have 2 or 3 groups here, they all know each other.
Yeah.
And I find that very, I mean, it's kind of, I love theater. I really do. I think that it's an expression for the actor, but it also brings something to the audience that they become involved with this play. If everything works,
Yeah.
Right,
that's
right.
what happens. So
Right.
Yeah.
I wanted to remind you one more time, we're talking about All My Sons, Arthur Miller's play. It's going to be at the Circle Theater Players, which is at the Sand Lake Center for the Arts. That's over in Averill Park. You can't miss it. It's a great parking lot, great theater. Take an opportunity to drive over there and enjoy All My Sons. If you haven't seen it recently, or even if you have, see it again, because it's really such a wonderful play. And we have these actors, experienced actors, that are pulling deep down to make that play come alive right on the stage. And
doing
Barry,
great.
it's so good to see you
Nice
and
to
have
see
you.
you
He's the
again.
director
Thank you.
of the show,
Thank you for having us.
Barry Streifert. We've been talking with 2 of the actors and with the director of All My Sons. I'm Ann Perillo, your host for Schenectady Capital Region today, and you're listening to us on the Hudson Mohawk Magazine. Stay tuned. here we are back again, and I have Tanya back on again. Tanya Deptola was on our show earlier. You're watching Ann Perel. I'm the host and producer of Scheenctady Capital Region Today. You're also listening to us on the Hudson Mohawk Magazine radio show, and we're talking about the Russian Winter Festival that's coming up on February the 29th, which is Leap Year Day, I guess you'd call it, and it will be at the Polish Community Center. With Tanya, she brought a few items that she's going to show us. You won't be able to see them on radio, but we're going to be talking about them. There's a film coming up, so I'm going to ask Tanya, what do you want to talk about?
Okay, I would like to say that the Russian Winter Festival, it's a whole month of February of events.
Right.
And we have already Russian poetry recital contest, we have a Tchaikovsky music competition.
You already had the
Yes.
music and the vocal,
Yeah,
right?
we have a all winners concert, and now we have two left events. It's going to be the screening of the Soviet film, The Cranes Are Flying.
Now that was made in the 50s, right?
It's called made in the 50s, and actually in the 57, it's only one Soviet film got award in the Cannes Festival.
The Cannes Film Festival. Okay,
it's a great movie, and it's just going to be about the war, and it's a great patriotic war for Russia. And it's a film screening to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the World War, ending of the World War II. And on May 9th, it's going to be 75th anniversary.
Yeah.
So this is what we show in this film, and the film is going to be in Russian with the English subtitles.
Right.
Yeah, and after the film screening, is going to be discussion.
You have a panelist.
We have a panelist.
Yeah, and it's going. Just tell people it's a free film showing.
It is going to be.
And we got to tell them where to go.
Oh, yes, it is going to be. We're working with in collaboration with the Polka Gallery, so it is going to be on the Polka Gallery on February 22nd at 2 p.m.
And that's on New Scotland Avenue.
New Scotland Avenue.
Yeah,
Sage.
so it's very easy to find. There's a parking area, so there's not a problem seeing that. So that's part of the film festival that they're adding to this. And today she's brought it looks like a tea set. Is that a tea? Is that for tea?
This is the samovar. It's called samovar. It's the very, very traditional the container for drinking tea, and this is a modern. But
this is modern?
It's modern.
It
yes.
looks like
it's
it
electrical.
came from the 17th.
No. Wow, you cannot imagine. We had once in 2009. We have exhibition of Russian samovars. This is a great samovars for centuries, and it's very, very, very cultural things. So the whole family is sitting around this samovar, which is on a table, and drinking tea. And still in Russia, it's very, very popular things. So we are going to, on the grand finale on February 29th, we are going to greet our guests, and they have a chance to drink tea out of samovar. Not this one, but really big one.
Big one.
It's
yeah.
called Tula samovar.
Well, and for many years we heard about the Russian tea rooms. Now, apparently tea is big in Russia, is that correct?
Very, very big.
Yeah.
Yes, very big. It's coffee started too, but mostly it's a tea.
It's like, well, China and Russia, they're right next to each other, and there's tea in both, it seems to
Absolutely. You know, it's Russia, it's between Western and Eastern world, and believe it or not, it's not Eastern and Western, but took the whole things from the both sides of the world and incorporate in their own culture.
Yeah, and wonderful. And you brought some dishes, and of course those of you who are listening to it on the radio can't see them, but I have to say the artwork on these dishes is incredible. And are these dishes that you would use, or are dishes that you would hang on the wall?
No, this is a decorative dish.
These are decorated
This is a depict of Russian fairy tales, and this is actually made, the German company made them. But the paintings, it's the Russian artist who did it.
It's absolutely incredibly
and we have
beautiful.
It's only 2 pieces, but it is going to be about 30 plates like
Will
this.
Will be on
it's
display.
a wonderful exhibition what we are going to have at the festival. Besides this exhibition, we are going to have Soviet posters, and we are going to have the setup of the red Russian army, the platoon.
Oh yeah, because we always had our pictures taken with them, because you do the pictures
Yes,
with it.
it's an association
Yeah.
which is with us for every festival, and we welcome them. And they depicted Russian soldiers and officers.
Yeah, very nice.
And also we are going to have our photo booth, so the people will dress up in the beautiful Russian costumes.
With the headdress and everything.
The
Oh, yeah,
headdress,
beautiful.
yes. And so it is going to be another exhibition. So it's going to be 4 altogether.
Are you going to have music?
Absolutely, yes.
You're not going to have Volnista. We did show that, but it's that was just a few years back.
Yes, headliner this year is going to be Ensemble Baranya. It's a Russian folk ensemble, and it's going to be the best, considered the best folk ensemble in the U.S.
And where do they come from?
They come in from New York City.
Oh, okay. Did you have them before? Because I saw one group.
We so much love them. I mean, audience so much love them. They requested. They want them again and again.
Thought that were they at the Crossroads or the I think you had a festival at the Crossroads in Loudonville.
Loudonville, no. We have many different
Yeah, you
places.
did, but I
yes.
thought I went to one there. Yeah.
Yeah, so they will come again. And another one, we are going to have, it's a children ensemble, dance ensemble. Actually, it's a youth ensemble. And they are great. They was with us when we participated in the Festival of Nations. And it's in Albany every year. And we represent Russia, and they dance. It's so great. You have to see it, how they dance.
Well, and I encourage people, we to learn about other cultures, because every culture has such a richness. And sometimes, when you just say the word, the Russians or the Italians or the Poles, you kind of lose with the heritage behind it. That's why I encourage you to go to the Polish festival, the Italian festivals, the Russian festivals, the Israeli festival, whatever festivals, go and learn about each culture, because each culture is so rich in art and in music, and we really need to keep those things alive.
Absolutely, and you're right. Absolutely, Russian culture is have a long history and rich the culture, and everyone know the achievements of Russian classical music and
Tchaikovsky,
paintings,
we know,
ballet,
ballet,
paintings, and I can see all these the achievements what we got in this classical part of arts is based on the traditional Russian folk arts and folk traditions. Like right now in this festival, we are going to focus in on Russian folk art and Russian traditions, Russian holidays, Maslenitsa.
Yeah, and then the churches had a lot of icons. I mean, the
beautiful icons.
The artwork.
Yeah.
There, I'm sitting here using my hands. But anyway, we want to remind you that you can go to this Russian festival. It's very nominal to get in. Bring your family, enjoy the food, enjoy the culture, enjoy the music, the dance. Check out the exhibitions. It will be at the Polish Community Center on Washington Avenue Extension, and it will be on the 29th, which is leap year, 29th of February. And when does this start, Tanya?
It started from 11 to 5.
11 to 5.
Please come and try the Russian blini, Russian pancakes. This is part of the Maslenitsa festival.
I always
Russia.
get something home. I take it home. Some of it I eat there, and then I take some home to try, because I want to try everything.
Yeah, you can serve with caviar. It's going to be served with other toppings.
You got
as well.
caviar?
Absolutely.
Whoa.
Yes. This is tradition. This is the Maslenitsa, the holiday.
Yeah.
The Maslenitsa is last week of February.
I
It's
happen
going
to
be,
like caviar, by the way.
It's like Mardi Gras for Italian.
Okay.
So this is the last week, pre-Lent, the holiday when it's going to be forbidden to eat meat.
Oh, I
so the Russian eat blini, pancakes, and it's the pancakes is like a sun, little sun. It's warm and gold, and it's saying that the more you eat pancakes during the Maslenitsa festival, the more sunny days going to be.
The more sunny days. Well, we need sunny days, that's for sure. And this is what you're going to learn if you go to the Russian winter festival, the gala, the festival at the very end, which is the 29th at the Polish Community Center. Plenty of parking. Get your tickets ahead of time, or else buy them at the door. You won't be disappointed, I can tell you. I like to go every year. So thank you, Tanya, for being here, and thank you for bringing this beautiful artwork.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Hudson Mohawk Magazine and also watching Schenectady Capital Region Today. We've been talking with Tanya Deptola. Stay tuned. Well, here we are again, and I have a historian and photographer, and he's brought some of his artwork, or I say artwork because photographs are artwork, aren't they?
Yes, and I believe these
Clifford
especially-
Oliver Mealy, and look at you with this. And we're talking, it's Black History Month, but more importantly, there was such an important contributions that were made by the African Americans that came to this country. Let's talk about, well, first of all, let's talk about each photo, and perhaps we have some on the screen. You want to do these first?
It doesn't matter.
Let's do the ones on the screen first, and then we'll talk about what he's got in his hand. So, Jan, if you could bring up some of those photos, and then we'll talk about. There's only 4 of them. Now, what are we looking at there?
This is the Epworth League of the Methodist Church, and if you look over onto the onto the far left side, you'll see a small black girl, and this is John Henry's daughter Bella.
And who's John Henry?
John Henry was born a slave in Virginia, and after the Civil War, literally followed a Lieutenant William Boyd north to
and
Whitehall.
we know William Boyd, yeah.
You know William Boyd?
Well, I mean, when he was. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
He
yeah.
was on my show many years ago.
It'd have to be many years ago.
Yeah. Well, the Boyd that was here.
That
yeah.
was here.
Yeah.
I wonder if they were related. I mean,
I
Boyd
don't
is
know, but there
common
was
name.
I think his name was William Boyd.
Right,
Yeah.
it could have been.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, William Boyd was a son of a congressman.
Yeah.
A congressman out of Whitehall.
Yeah.
And he took John Henry as contraband and brought him
I mean,
home.
not the same one on
Right,
my
right,
show,
right.
but there was a Boyd on my show, yeah. So John, so who's are we looking at here? Because
these
I
people,
love that photo.
I do too, and I don't know who they are.
You have no clue.
Not a clue. John Henry's.
So if you know who they are, write me a letter.
Please.
And we'll get a label
please.
on that.
And actually, I have identified a few people in this album.
Oh, look at the album he's got. Oh, who's that? You don't know. Oh, well, he's got.
I did know who that was.
Okay.
John.
Look at this album. I have never seen an album like that.
Well, this is actually not the album. The album is leather bound, very similar to this.
But look at it's worn. It's got to be
I
old.
picked this up at an auction.
Well, good
Just
for
because, yes, the Whitehall Historical Society,
Look at that.
even though they allow me to use these photos, they would not let me have the actual photos
Well, I
or the
understand.
actual
Yeah,
book.
yeah.
And I understand
Yeah,
too.
yeah, we can-
So I thought to replicate.
Oh my gosh.
I thought to replicate with this old album, which had no
I've never
photos
seen
in
an
it.
album like that. That's beautiful.
There are only 2 known intact, what's considered Black Victorian photo albums in America. One is owned by the University of Michigan, and it's funny. The woman who put it together was Arabella Chapman, and she was originally from Albany.
Okay.
And this album, John Henry's album, was put together by his
I
wife.
love these photos.
These photos, I think, totally
They're wonderful.
change our idea of what black life was like at the turn of the century. There was a black middle class, upper middle class, even a black rich class that we just tend to think about as Oprah's domain
Yeah.
today. And
When I was in Alabama, that was one of the things they said. They had a very rich business community, black business community there.
and
These are wonderful photos. Oh my God! Thank you for bringing these.
I felt totally
and
in
this
love
is
with
the
these
one that you
photographs.
sent earlier.
Right. This is actually in the original album. She's labeled as Cousin Ann Myers. And you may be familiar, I'm pretty sure you are familiar with Stephen and Harriet Myers, the abolitionists in Albany.
Right.
Paul and Mary, this is their granddaughter.
Oh my God! What a beautiful woman.
She was beautiful, but I think there's a greater beauty in here.
Oh my gosh!
And I believe, but I don't have proof,
Looks like they
that
might be
this is her
related.
sister.
Yeah,
Yes.
they look related.
Her sister Catherine. Catherine, why I believe this is Catherine, because her photo is in here. I mean, Ann's photo.
Oh, look at this! Isn't that wonderful? They took a child.
Oh, they have a lot of children.
Oh my gosh!
And which I think,
Where did you get these photos?
this is the Whitehall Historical Society.
Okay.
In Whitehall. That's at the bottom of Lake Champlain.
Okay. Oh, look at that dress! Oh my gosh!
This,
Excuse me while I digress here. It's like I'm sitting here going, "Oh my gosh, this is so great!"
I
and
felt you're doing the same excitement I did when I first saw these. I was like, oh, I had to photograph I had to copy
Yeah,
every
of course you
photograph
did.
in
Of
it.
course you did. And you got the sepia tones and everything in
Right.
there. Yeah.
This is Stanislaw Costa, who was married to Catherine Myers,
Oh, okay.
who I
Myers,
don't
yeah.
know if this is indeed Catherine, but I do know that this is her sister.
Is there any way
Anne.
you can do? I don't know. Is there? You think that maybe Ancestry.com? I don't know.
Well, you know, that's one reason I'm on this show.
I love Roots on PBS, where they go into the back. And
Right.
It does
Look-
such a great job.
And I'm hoping the more word I get out about these, like I didn't initially know that this was Stanislaw Costa until I brought this to Paul and Mary Liz Stewart behind Anne.
Yeah, and they do the Underground Railroad. Yeah,
Right.
I love Paul and Mary. Yeah.
So Paul immediately identified him, and he said you can find a lot of information about him.
Isn't it
on
great? The more you
baseball.
talk about it, the more you learn.
The more you find out.
Yeah. But this is a wonderful album. that
Oh,
you
it
put
really
together.
is.
Yeah. I am astonished. I can't use any other word. I'm astonished at the photographs that you have here. I really am.
Oh, I'm glad you got my excitement.
Yeah, no, I really am. I'm not faking this.
No, I'm sure you're not, because just about everywhere I've gone with these people are. I think it's changing our whole
perception.
concept and perception of what life. You know, we weren't all sweeping
Well,
floors.
don't
and-
even go into the movies because I
Right.
am so disturbed. And yet, I know just recently I saw some and they were talking the way they portrayed the blacks at that time. And they said, well, we need to kind of keep those films alive so that people understood. But it's sort of creepy to me.
It is kind of creepy, but I understand what they're, as a historian,
Yeah.
I understand what they're saying. I mean, this inert racism that we Americans have, it didn't just come out of nowhere. We're not born racist.
No, nobody is.
Yeah, and I think
It's got to be taught.
right, and I think those films kind of taught it.
Perpetuate.
Yeah, and certainly perpetuated. Yeah.
Yeah, the blackface and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It was like it's creepy. I'm watching a documentary on TC Turner Classic Movies, and it's like it's creepy.
It is creepy.
But apparently they thought that it was wonderful at the time.
Back
because-
in the day, yeah.
But oh my gosh, and
Yeah.
it just I don't know. I can't say enough how disturbing it is to me to see the way they made them as maids and as this and fumbling and it's like why
Well, it's you've got to realize that was only in a lot of these movies, in these photographs. This is only one generation
I know.
removed from
We're
slavery.
almost out of time, Clifford.
Oh,
Oh, my
I'm sorry.
gosh, we could talk for another hour.
we
I think
could.
you and I, we got to get you back. No, I'd love to get you back on again to talk more, but my time is out. So I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to show these, but please come back again.
Oh, gladly.
Let's talk more about this because I think it's important
Oh,
to
very-
get this out.
I'd love to.
We've been talking with Clifford Oliver Mealy, and of course I just kind of got wrapped up in this. So we didn't cover everything I wanted to, but I'm just like, I had to look at these photos here. And if you get a chance, have him speak to your group or something because it's so important to get this information out. It just opens a whole new way of looking at the past
Yes.
and bringing it forward and understanding. So Clifford Oliver Mealy, he's a historian and a photographer. I'm so happy to have you here
Thank
today.
you, Ann.
Please come again.
I will.
Good. I love you. I love what you do. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to talk about taxes. We never did talk about the Baltimores of Troy, but you know what? Another time. Good. Stay tuned. Okay, here we are back again, and my favorite person on taxes, believe me, nobody has anything favorite about taxes, but I do. I got Richard Zizeki on, and we're going to be talking about the VITA program. We're going to talk about the Cash Coalition and how you can get your taxes done for free. So, and I know that we have some slides, so we'll let you bring up the slides and we'll chit-chat as we go along.
Well, thanks, Ann. It's nice to be back.
Yeah, it's always good to see you.
You were so excited with that last segment. I hope you're as excited about taxes.
I'm very excited about taxes.
Oh, good. It's glad to be back.
Yeah, I know.
The vision of the Cash Coalition is to bring partners together and resources to help benefit individual families and to improve their economic status. The Cash Coalition's been around about 15 years, and the acronym CASH means Creating Assets, Savings and Hope. And it's part of the job of the Cash Coalition is to provide the free income tax preparation.
That's a great asset, I mean,
And
for
we're gonna
all of us.
Yes, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. We also do financial education and asset building activities. Now that takes a plethora of partners.
Look at the people that you have.
We
working
have
with you.
over 95 partners that help us in some way, shape, or form, whether it's the IRS, faith-based organizations like Circles of Mercy, the Cash chapters themselves, the United Way, AARP. We all work together to provide those free income tax preparations. The lead agencies with regards to the programs, each chapter is set up in a county, and then there's a lead agency in each county. Circles of Mercy is the lead agency
In Rensselaer.
in Rensselaer, Catholic Charities in Albany, and Saratoga, it's Mechanicville Community Center, and so on. And what we try to do as individual chapters is to support the sites that provide the free income tax service. We also have some financial institutions that help us along the way. Citizens Bank.
How do they help you?
They help us by providing training. They provide us with financial support.
good.
Those kind of things. SEFQ, Key Bank, just have been amazing partners along with the United Way. Now, last year, these statistics are phenomenal.
Amazing statistics.
Over
there.
15,000 returns, and this is all done by volunteers.
Volunteer.
Almost 300 volunteers, 11,000 hours, $20.6 million in refunds and credits.
And that money comes back into our community.
Correct. The money comes back in, clients pay their bills, they buy their food, they pay their rent, their medical benefits. 4.5 million was earned income tax credits, and not that I want to cast aspersions on the commercial preparers, but we saved people over $4 million.
Well, but we have to remember that if you have a complex tax problem, I don't want to say problem, but the way that your life is,
Right.
then you need to go to a commercial. I mean, there's no
Right.
question about it, because the volunteers that you have, are, as well trained as they are not equipped to handle
Right,
complex
there's some
issues.
limitations, correct.
Yeah.
Now, as I mentioned, it's all volunteer-driven. This slide shows you the various different
And
types.
do you still need volunteers?
Yes, always need volunteers. It's not too late to train people to be greeters. In fact, I have 2 that are being trained today at Circles. We have cash advisors, the actual preparers, and quality reviewers. On the next slide, the most important slide is this one and the next. The VITA program is for incomes of under $56,000.
Is that earned income, or is that, or are we talking about, could it be in their interest and everything, whatever it is?
Everything.
Okay.
56,000 is the limit. To find the site nearest to you, all you got to do is pick up the phone and dial 211. That's all you have to do. You tell the resource operator the zip code where you live, and she will do 2 things. One, tell you where the closest site is, and if possible, also make the appointment.
How
All right?
much easier is that?
It can't be done any easier.
not at all.
You can go to our cash website, and as well as calling the IRS. We also have, in the privacy of your own home, Ann,
Yes,
like if you wanted to
nice.
sit there at the kitchen table,
That's how I do mine.
have your cup of Joe, and your jammies, you can provide.
Might need something stronger than that.
You could, maybe a little Bailey's in the coffee, who knows? But we have a free online website called myfreetaxes.com. Incomes of under $66,000, and all you need is all your tax documentations, a computer, and access to the
Do your own, yeah, and
you
it's
can
free.
do it all. It's free for both federal and state.
Yeah.
And you can't make it any more simpler. Now, doesn't that excite you, Ann?
I'm so excited. Now, if
So-
you'd have brought a few pictures, I might have even been more excited.
that was the history.
Yeah.
When you think about the history, and that's the same thing with the Cash Coalition, the history. If we can go back and look for the past 15 years of doing between 12 and 15,000 returns, and doing on an average of $20 million,
Amazing.
it's just you said it, amazing.
It is amazing.
So, in closing, you either contact me if you have any questions,
Okay.
or Andy Pratt at the United Way. Pretty soon, Scott Marcello will be in the position where Tracy was. We wish the best of luck to Tracy, who's moved on to another position. But Scott will come in and fill in for the rest of the
Good,
season, and
good.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah. But it's important, first of all, nobody likes to do taxes.
No.
If I found anybody that said, oh, I can't wait to do my taxes, well, I mean, I do say that because I want to get them over with. But the point is, it's not an exciting thing to do. But once you get into it, it usually takes me, with doing it on the computer, it takes me maybe about two hours to get all my paperwork together and figure that out. I get on my computer and zap, and I hit send, and it is gone.
And it's as long, and we do the same thing at
And
the
now
VITA
you
site.
have to do it, don't
Right,
you, Ellie?
at the VITA site, you come in with all your tax papers. You have to bring in a picture ID, like your driver's license and your social security card. We allot about an hour for the appointment, and the software the preparer uses is just like what you used online.
Yep.
It just goes through a question and answer process. It dumps all that information and data into the return. They do a quality assurance review to make sure everything is correct, and boom, it
Well,
goes.
when Greg was alive, we went through that with
Right.
you, and so we went through the process, and he said it was incredibly easy. So
Yeah, it is.
So, and it's safe, it's secure, and please don't take any loans out
Oh.
on your taxes. Just
That's
it
where
only takes a couple, maybe 3 or 4 days to get your money back in your bank account. So don't don't give your money away.
Yeah, that's unfortunately where the big thing happens.
okay.
They get into those anticipation refund
Yeah.
loans, and then the interest charge.
Yeah, they
is
take
just-
money out. You don't
Yeah.
get. It's not like if you're going to get $3,500 back, you don't get that back because they're going to take part of that.
Right.
So, well, thank you so much,
You're
Richard,
welcome,
and
Ann.
we'll be
Thanks.
having you on again.
Yeah, to get
And we're
2
going to
more
have our
sessions.
next guest is going to be talking about treasures in the basement of Proctor's and also Beat the Snow. Stay tuned.
Как теперь не веселиться и грустить от разных бед. В нашем доме поселился замечательный сосед. Мы соседа и не знали, и не верили себе, что у нас сосед играет на кларнете и трубе.
Well, I understand it might be snowing today, although I'm not positive. I'm not outside. When I came in, it wasn't snowing, but we're going to beat that snow.
We are. Oh my gosh. I have to say, we're about halfway through our Beat the Snow concert, and we keep filling up the McChesney room. I mean,
That room is packed.
really, oh
Yeah.
my gosh. We were running out of chairs this last
They
Sunday.
can stand in the back. You may as well.
Yes, that's right. We did have a couple standing
Yeah,
in the
and
back.
you just kind of rock with the music sometimes.
Yes,
if
and,
you can.
and it's wonderful. And again, I give a shout out to our wonderful artists in the area. They volunteer their time to come here. And this next week,
Well, one
a
of our
couple
favorite people are going to be there. Yeah.
couple, yeah. Malcolm Kogod, who is a cameraman and helps with taking the pictures, will be.
And Mary Lou as well?
Yes, he'll be conducting, playing the keyboard, and Mary Lou is one of the enthusiastic singers.
Yay.
And they do such a great job because they provide music. They are the Colony Village Singers,
Right.
and they provide music that's familiar to people, invite them to sing along, and people love that. Oh my
And
gosh.
what other concerts do you have
So
left
we
over
have,
from this? Because you've
yes.
done opera and you've done classical. and
Right,
You've done
so
all.
we've got a sing-along this Sunday. We've got Scheenctady Light Opera.
They're going to
Mark,
be just show tunes.
Oh yes, they do musical theater tunes. Mark comes in, he does some folk and he does his
Camerone, yeah.
own. And then we're going to have, for the first time, Empire State Youth Orchestra.
They're wonderful.
And
small
it'll
group,
be a
it's small
small
groups.
group, right. And it'll be, again, just wonderful,
have
wonderful
ensemble
musician,
groups, yeah.
ensemble groups, individuals. They'll be terrific. Then we're going to have Doug and Kevin come in. They're going to be jazz. And we're closing with the Scheenctady Etude Club.
Oh, they're wonderful.
Which
Classical.
it is. It's classical ensemble, different, you know, your clarinetist and your pianist. You got usually a cellist in there. It's a wonderful variety
You
music.
had musicians at Malwick on
And
earlier.
we
didn't you?
did earlier, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so we have a wonderful set of people, a great variety of music. And I'm reading a book by Robert Reich, you know, the former federal guy who's been in economics and this kind of thing. And the book is called The Common Good. And it is,
This is the
a common good to sit in the library, main library.
In
The concert
Schenectady.
starts at 2:30, the Karen B. Johnson Library downtown, the McChesney Room. But to see all of those people come together and share that experience. And we've been doing it now for quite a few years,
Yeah, quite
almost a dozen years.
And you're the organizer of getting all this together now. in the
Yes,
joint.
I am. This is my fifth
So-
or sixth year
Yeah,
doing that.
So you're
but
getting pretty darn good at it.
well, as people, when they thank me, I say, no, thank the musicians.
that
They're
show
the
up.
ones. But I just call them up and they say yes.
Yeah.
So what a good job.
They want to. It's a way of giving back to the community.
Absolutely,
But
it is.
right now, we are thinking of maybe trying to get rid of some
Yes,
things.
a lot of people our age are downsizing and
Proctor's
getting.
is too.
So Proctor's is too at their grand old age. And I went
Let's
into
take
the
a look at the
basement,
photos if we can.
and we went down, 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 and you're going into the basement where it's actually
What are we
just
looking
dirt.
at here?
So, in the on across the top. First of all, you've got some light bulbs and things, and those are lights that are usable, but the theater is no longer using that style. And they actually have some, and if somebody was interested in them, they could actually call Proctor, speak with Dan Sheehan, he's the operational person, and make that connection. And then to the right of that at the top, you've got the old light fixtures.
It
They
looks
no
like a
longer
chandelier
use.
of
Yes,
some
it
sort.
is, but it's a series of light fixtures. On the lower level, again, you've got to the right, you've got another picture of the lights that are for the taking. They've been down there for quite some time. We have to dust them all off so they look this good. And then on the other side, you've got a whole bit of the wire that's down there. And
this is all usable.
This is all usable. I mean, that wire, there's a lot of it. And
right.
if you needed it, call Proctor's, check with Dan Sheehan, and you can tell them that you talked with me, and we show some of these pictures.
Now we have 2 other photos
Yes.
too and I wondered about those.
Those are music that's down there. Now, when I was talking with Dan, he said, really, it's been down there forever. You can, contact him. We can get rid of it or use it, whatever. And you'll notice some is organ and some is for instruments, like a brass instrument. But in speaking with someone else, they said that some of it belongs to the organ committee, again, of Proctor's and in the area. And so, if you
have
wanted
to go through that.
Yeah, the organ committee. But again, if you contact me or if you contact Dan, we can make that connection. But there was so much music, and it's in good shape. It's not like it has that feeling of being in a basement. It's a very dry basement.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of music, and if your teacher, these pieces are wonderful for your
I
students.
can just see them framed and put on a wall.
Oh, yes, but I mean, this is good, usable music. Ages ago, I took piano and everybody had John Thompson.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
this is the equivalent of John Thompson.
I need to say who's coming up next week, and
know.
then we'll finish up. You know that. Cap Rep is going to be here about the Irish and how they got that way. We're going to be talking about junior achievement of Northeast New York. We're going to be talking about our legal quarter. Always like to talk about the new laws that are coming up. We're going to be talking about the Little Mermaid, which is going to be at the Niskuna High School. And then the Scheenctady Historical Society will be talking about their school programs at the Maybe Farm, apparently. They have some. And then, of course, Scheenctady Restaurant Week is coming up. So
Yes, that's another. Those kind of activities, again, as we said about the library concerts, just bringing the people together. And then you find out you share all of this. And again, building that common good that is a little frayed right now. So all
You're
of
absolutely
these
right. We
gathering
need to be
together.
gather together. And I like the idea with Beat the Snow. These people all volunteer and
Yes,
come in
absolutely.
and do it. And I want to give a shout out for our show here at Scheenctady Capital Region today, because all of the people that work on this show are volunteers. They're on the cameras, they're doing reception, they're doing everything. Jan is one of them. Malcolm is another. I mean, we're all there, and we do have a support with Katie DeRicca of the Open Stage Media, so we do thank them for allowing us this space, Proctor's, and for Open Stage Media for supporting this show with their technical assistance and also the space that we use and their equipment. I do want to give them a big shout out, and I do want to remember that commit yourself to an act of kindness this week or today. And remember, it's contagious. Pass it on, right?
It is, yes.
It's really nice to do something nice for someone, isn't it?
It is, and they do pass it on, and then they find out that it feels good, and they'll do another one.
Yeah, and it passes on. And
It
that's
does
exactly
indeed.
what they're doing with Beat the Snow. These are volunteers doing bringing music to us and making our lives a little bit lighter during the winter.
And as I always say, a lot of these people go other places and get paid. So they come to us free as the concert. But if you see them out there, go and support them.
Support them. You've been watching Scheenctady, Capital Region Today.